It was thrilling to hear the mother explain the secret about the spiritual law, yet I needed further elaboration, greater clarification in the matter. Why should one's mother alone be extolled? What about one's father, who is also responsible for one's birth? Mother Rama Devi must have read my thoughts, because next she gave a pointed smile that almost bordered on laughter and continued speaking. You doubt why one's mother alone is given total importance and while the father is left out, don't you? I will explain it to you. It is common knowledge that the birth of a child is due to the physical union between the father and the mother. But this is merely on the physical plane, just like the fetus growing in the mother's womb. But something remarkable takes place in the 7th month. The Atma, call it spirit or soul, enters the fetus. Only then does what we call a child come into being. Bringing in the Atma is done exclusively by the Mother Principle. The Mother Principle is a unique spiritual energy which the intellect can never grasp aright. You have to simply accept the declarations of sages and saints in this respect. This is the spiritual uniqueness of the Mother. Further proof of the physical uniqueness of the Mother is that only a mother can bear 2 Atmas simultaneously, hers and the child's. This is the glory of Matru Tattva. Adi Shankara and Bhagavan Ramana were only revering this mother principle in their mothers. No father has this unique spiritual feature, though the father principle too has special spiritual qualities. So, my child, obey your mother and fully satisfy her wishes. This is my commandment to you. I could clearly see that Mother Rama Devi was not using any psychic powers to cow me down. She was logically pointing to a spiritual truth, which I understood clearly only years later. Whatever is to happen, saints participate in its early and sure fruition. By now, though I was not opposed to her suggestion, I was still genuinely reluctant to leave the ashram and go away. So I appealed to the mother, saying, "Mother, it is great of you to condescend to come down to my level and explain things to make me agree to your suggestion. My spirit, too, is willing to implicitly obey your commandment. But by my conviction to take up a spiritual life is so fervent in me that I find it impossible to say yes. Mother, if you make my attachment to ashram life drop off, I will immediately agree." The mother, with a pleased look, pointedly turned her attention and awareness on me. Our eyes met. Hers shone very powerfully when she said, "From this moment onwards, your mind will not dwell on perpetuating your stay at the ashram. You will also willingly take up a job elsewhere and entering a new life. This is my blessing. Don't worry. I will be with you, protecting you wherever you are." A miracle took place. Like a garment falling from one's body, the clinging thought that I couldn't go away from the ashram dropped from me instantaneously. I prostrated to her and exclaimed, "Mother, You have removed the thought that I will not go away from the ashram. That phantom's octopus-like grip over me is gone. I am happy and free now. Mother Rama Devi gave me an embrace and blessed me with raised hands, saying, I am proud of you, my child. You have come successfully through the difficult test that I put you to. You are a brave man, a Dhira. Now, go home and happily, willingly report to your mother that you will leave the ashram and take up a job outside. Receive her blessings in full. Go, child, go. My biological mother was pleased and blessed me with tears rolling down her cheeks. I went to Chittoor and got employed as a sub-editor in the same English daily for which I was working in Bombay. Strangely, never even once did the faintest thought of going back to the ashram occur to me. On the other hand, I was planning to get a better job with a higher salary in one of the reputed English dailies being published from the other cities. I applied to all of them. 3 months passed smoothly. Then one night I woke up to find my pillow completely wet, thoroughly drenched by what I realized were my tears. I had cried for a long time in my sleep. Within a moment of this realization, the old phantom caught me tightly, almost to the point of suffocation. From where did this come, and where had it gone these 3 months? I didn't want to succumb to its tantrums. I went out for a walk, even though it was an odd hour, 1 in the morning. The hold of the phantom did not loosen. I clearly saw that I was not clinging to the thought of going back to live in the ashram. Despite this, it was tightening its grip over me like a ghost. The next morning, I wrote to Mother Rama Devi about all that had happened and seeking her protection so that I could continue undisturbed in my job. She wrote back that it was a trick of my mind and that I should fight it out and win over it. I tried sincerely, but I could not. For 2 weeks, the tussle went on. Then my body started to get affected. I started having loose motions, diarrhea. I went to the doctor and took medicines to stop it. Nothing worked. The ailment not only continued unabated, but also terribly weakened my whole system. I was trying my best to obey Mother Rama Devi's advice of suppressing the thought. One day I couldn't come out of the bathroom, so frequent was the purging. After a few hours, I struggled hard and managed to come out. Something in me impelled me to write a direct appeal to my Satguru, Sri Ramana. So I wrote a letter addressed to Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi, in care of Sri Ramanasramam in Tiruvannamalai. In it, I narrated my condition, the mental fight that was being put up, even though I was guided by Mother Rama Devi, and my utter physical instability. I prayed for his grace for success in my fight with my phantom mind. Within 2 days, I was pleasantly surprised to receive a letter from my mother, Nagalakshmi Amal, advising me to resign the job, come back to the ashram, and never go back anywhere else. I was delighted, not only because I was going back to live in the ashram, but also because the final words of Mother Rama Devi on that day of taking leave of her were repeating themselves in my ears. Your spiritual aspiration will get fulfilled undoubtedly if you obey your mother by leaving the ashram and taking up the job. Don't ask me again how. You will yourself realize and rejoice when it takes place. How true Mother Rama Devi's words of wisdom proved to be. Before leaving Chittoor, I wrote to Mother Rama Devi, enclosing a copy of the letter that I received from my mother, and seeking the mother's continued blessings. No sooner had I reached the ashram, I wrote to her about resuming my ashram duties again and sought her blessings. A few days later, I got a short letter from Mother Rama Devi that said, "My blessings are always with you, child." I shed tears of joy. The gap of those months away from the ashram, I realized, had actually rejuvenated me to rededicate myself in the arduous task of my making efforts to bring back the old devotees of Sri Bhagavan to the ashram and attending on them, the sadhana specifically prescribed for me by Mataji Krishnabai. My mother, Nagalakshmi Amal's involvement in this whole affair of causing me to leave the ashram remained a great puzzle as I considered my mother my guru. I got it cleared by her later, only after many years, when she was on her deathbed. She said, "Balarama Redayer and your father came home and forcefully told me that I should say so to Mother Rama Devi for your own good. I wanted you only to be in the ashram and serve Sri Bhagavan all your life." Sri Bhagavan's grace ever rules supreme indeed.